Welcome back to the Drinks and Dunks YouTube show. I'm your host, Ben Marquardt, and on today's episode, we're going to cover a new special beer that was requested. We'll go over that. I'm going to introduce a new rating system where I'm going to rate every beer from here on out, give it a score. I'll update a leaderboard for you guys, so make sure you keep requesting those different types of beers you want to see. Even if you haven't drinking them yourself and you're just interested to see what I think about them, hit me up with those suggestions in the comments. So yeah, let's get after it. Today's beer was a special request. Shout out to Luke, good buddy of mine. Sent in the request in the comment section, like you all should do, for a Spaten Optimator. It's a Doppelback from Munich, Germany, 7.6%. And on first taste, it's got a ton of flavor, a little bit darker than my typical drink, but also still really smooth. Yeah, a little bit of a kind of a molassesy flavor. I'm not exactly sure what type of beer, how you brew a Doppelback or what it's most similar to, but I do really like it. If I had to give it a score, the ranking system is going to be on 1 to 10. And coming up with the ratings on the fly at first taste can be a little tricky, so I'm going to have to taste it a few times, but based off pure taste, I think I'd give this one an 8.3. A really, really good beer. It's got a ton of flavor, but it's not too overwhelming. Still really smooth. I don't know if it would shoot to the top of my favorite beers of all time, but I do think it's a really solid beer that I really enjoy. We're gonna review last week's picks. Betting this season has been a struggle. I think anyone that's bet on sports knows that sometimes it can be tough, but I think without the training camp or preseason, it's going to be really wild games and really wild outcomes that you've had. So I made an interesting pick. My first pick last week was Hornets plus 10 over the Sixers. They did fight. The Sixers shot really well in this game, and I think with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left, it was a 10-point game, so I had a chance. And then the Hornets proceeded to score 1 minute over the next, 1 point over the next 4 minutes of basketball to end up losing by 15. So that was a tough one. The Sixers just shot really well. The Hornets are scrappy. They're going to be in games. That's why I picked them. But that one didn't add up, which brought us to 3 and 4. And then the next pick I had were the Hawks, the hot team of the season so far. Trae Young's been lighting it up. Some people have talked about him as an MVP candidate. I'm not sure I'm ready to jump on that train after 5 games, but he's been scoring the ball really well above 30 points per game and averaging a ton of assists. So I thought they could take care of the Cavs, who've also been super feisty. Had them -6. And they ended up losing to the Cavs by 5. So that one lost as well. Brought us to 3 and 5 on the season. Might actually be better for viewers just to see me struggle through chugging these high percent beers, because every time I lose a bet, I'm going to chug for 5 seconds each. So that'll be a total of 10 seconds chugging. And I don't anticipate the predictions getting any better here on out. I mean, I was at 500, but I think the swings of these games can just be wild. And, the Bucks can win by 47, and then the Clippers can lose by 50. Who really knows at this point of the season? I think as the season progresses, we'll have a better grasp. But I got 2 losses again this week. Brings us to 3 and 5, so I'm going to get my 10-second chug off, and I'll let you guys know how the Optimator is for a chugging beer. Whew. I will say, I don't normally chug 7.6% beers. It was pretty smooth, but not your ideal chugging beer. It's not a Miller Lite, it's not a Busch Light. So if you're looking to have 8 beers on a Saturday, I wouldn't suggest chugging these, but they are very tasty. sticking with my 8.3 for right now. Moving on to tonight's picks, I have the Spurs +9 over the Clippers. The Spurs have been a little feisty this year, shooting more threes. DeRozan's been great. The record doesn't really show it, and I think that the Clippers have been dominating some decent teams, but they're due to lay an egg every now and again. I think Marcus Morris is out tonight for the Clippers, and I just think they're a team that you can bank on to lose 1 or 2 games every couple of weeks that they definitely should win. And this is one they definitely should win. I just think the Spurs are so well coached and they're scrappy with the young talent and the old vets of Aldridge and DeRozan that they can keep this one close. And then my other pick is Jazz -4.5 versus the Nets. The Nets are, after starting out hot, have kind of slumped to 3-5 here. And with KD being out with the COVID protocol, I think the Nets are going to struggle in this one. Jazz are at home. They play really well there. And I think that the Jazz can take care of this. With Bogdanović back, I think they really have a quite complete starting 5. I know Mitchell's really struggled this year, but Conley and Gobert and Ingles, they can pick up the slack. So I think they'll win this one. I don't expect a blowout, but I think they can win this one by at least 4.5. So that's who I'm going with this week. We'll see what happens. I know the betting's been tough. It's been tough on everyone who bets on sports. But like I said, it's probably better for the viewers to see me chug a few drinks. I appreciate the views, guys. As always, keep sending in those suggestions. Again, Spaten Optimator, really good beer. Thanks again, Luke. I really appreciate the suggestion. Got another suggestion coming up on Thursday. Might switch it up and do a little bit of a review on where we're at through a couple weeks into the season, see who's surprising us and who's disappointing as far as players and teams. So it'll be another episode on Thursday, and then hoping to get one out on Sunday. I do have a move this weekend, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to get that one out on Sunday, but we'll give it a shot. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it.